Hey guys, what's up? It's Ripe again. In today's video, an entitled woman attacked an off-duty police officer at Walmart. Fortunately, the officer knows how to defend himself and teaches this Karen a lesson. Here is what happened. Subscribe to Ripe on YouTube and hit the bell to turn on notifications. People can be extremely entitled, and perhaps I always knew this, but I never realized how bad it was until I was mistaken for a Walmart employee while I was off work one day. For the record, I'm a police officer. I know there is a stereotype about us, but I would like to believe I'm the kind that makes a difference. I'm also a woman and biracial, so perhaps I bring a unique perspective. Regardless, everyone brings something to the table that no one else can. Each industry has its own challenges and obstacles. Now, being a woman officer, I know just how scary it can be out there. For this reason, I always carry protection on me. Sometimes it's a taser, and sometimes it is pepper spray, and sometimes it's even both. Regardless, you can never be too safe, I guess. Anyways, I'm telling you this because it's an important part to my story. I guess I should also say that I really love my time off. I mean, who doesn't after working all week? For me, having a day off and having nothing to do except adult things is actually pretty relaxing. I love running around, grocery shopping, running errands, etc. Anyways, a couple of weeks ago I was off after a 12-day work stretch. I was kind of excited because I finally had time to do some much needed grocery shopping and laundry. I found myself at Walmart this day because, you know, my salary can be pretty low and well, I like a good deal. Thanks Walmart. They actually have some fairly good deals on household stuff, you should check it out. Anyways, I was pushing my cart around doing some shopping. I was turning around the corner when a lady stopped to approach me. At this time I was turning down the aisle that sold kitchen utensils. You know, spoons and knives, and this lady proceeds to ask me where something is in the store, and I was just confused. I was dressed in regular clothes and it's not like they resembled a uniform or anything, so I politely tell her that I cannot help her. I guess I should have added that I don't work here, but I thought that was obvious. I mean, was I talking too much for people to just think with common sense? I guess so, because almost immediately she gives me a dirty look and starts telling me off. She then starts demanding that I help her because that was the whole purpose of me being here. Again, I tried explaining to her that I could not help her and confirmed that I did not in fact work there. I did not have a vest, a name tag, a hat or anything that even suggested I worked there. I was tired and just wanted to finish my grocery shopping, so I started walking away until this crazy lady starts yelling at me so loud that other people in the aisle started looking. Well then, why are you wearing a blue shirt if you don't work here? You know, Walmart employees wear blue vests, right? A lowlife like you would be the perfect employee here. I had no idea why the hell she was so angry, and it was pretty disrespectful for her to insinuate that only lowlife people worked there. A job is a job no matter what it is. I will always vouch for that. I tell her that she should be a little bit more respectful to the lowlifes that work here, and if working here made you a lowlife, then what would you call the people that shop there? And of course, she did not like that. She started screaming at the top of her lungs how I was a bitch for not helping her, and of course she should have known not to ask a black person for help. Now, keep in mind, as she is saying all of this nonsense, she is moving close towards me. I tell her that she needs to back off because I would protect myself. By now there are several other people telling her to back off as well, and a Walmart employee was on her walkie-talkie telling her supervisor that they needed to call 911 or security. Well, in a split second it became too late for security or the police to intervene. Karen grabbed a knife off the shelf. Yes, you heard that right, a knife, and she proceeded to lunge at me. Now, because of my training with the police academy, I am really fast on my feet. I pulled my taser out of my pants pocket and immediately used it on her. First of all, why are knives not packaged and just out there in plain sight? Are you guys as Walmarts like this? Anyways, the police officers are called, you know, the ones that are on duty, and she is immediately arrested. Apparently, this is not the first time she had done stuff like this. She had pulled similar stunts multiple times, and it makes me wonder about her mental state. No disrespect, anyways ladies, always keep a taser or pepper spray on you. No disrespect, anyways lady, always keep a taser or pepper spray on you. You never know when it will come in handy. And yeah, Ripe Stars, I'm curious, have you ever carried a pepper spray or anything similar in public? And did you ever have to use it? Let us know in the comments, and now let's continue with the video. The next one is titled, Stupid Neighbors Annoy Me Daily. I left for work this morning. My neighbor demanded that I park in my driveway so that she could have more room in the morning waiting on the school bus with her child. Said child is at least in middle school because that's the bus that runs the time I am leaving for work. And I would know, as I taught at the middle school in the district the last 3 years before moving to a new one. First of all, I hate the bus stop parents. Why, you ask? Well, because they litter. They just toss trash out their windows into our lawn like they own the place. They also wait outside our house with their music blaring, and they are always out at the bus stop 15 to 20 minutes early. Then they block your mailbox or driveway with their cars. So I already don't like these people, and their kids are not even annoying. It is just the adults, but we parked on the street this weekend, which is unusual for us. So we did it because we are building a fence and have stuff in our driveway for it. This is the first time since I've lived here, over a year, that I've ever left my car on the street overnight. So then a random lady pulls up behind me and stops me as I am loading in my things for work and says our vehicles are in the way of parents waiting on the bus for their kids. She said we should park in our driveway and leave the road open for parents. She did not ask, just said, "Tomorrow these spaces will be open for parents, okay?" And then just walked away. So needless to say, we'll be parking on the street until further notice. My husband has 2 trucks, so that means even more room will be taken. Update, we parked on the street. And of course, I got the stank look from the same person. She drove past and looked our vehicles up and down and then shook her head. And then she ended up parking on the main street instead. Ours is off the main street in the neighborhood, so we don't get all the traffic from people going to work, we just have a corner lot. Fun fact about one of my husband's trucks though, it's a work truck from his company, so anytime you have to use public parking, such as street parking, you have to put a cone 5 feet in front and one 5 feet behind it per company policy, even if you are at your own house. And yeah, Ripe Stars, I would say that's not even only petty revenge, but even a sprinkle of malicious compliance. Either way, the next one is titled, Getting the Pro Revenge. So this is the story of Mike. Mike managed the warehouse of a hospital. Said hospital was built in the 50s in the center of the town. The stadium is on one side and the justice hall in another, and school is on a third side. There is also a caserne and 2 other medical buildings around, so the streets are crowded with cars searching for a parking. One day though, when opening the gate of the landing dock, Mike noticed a little car parked in the hospital internal court near the 2,000-liter liquid oxygen tank. That model of tank. Of course, it is absolutely forbidden because this is a private property and the court has been planned before. 35-ton truck was the norm and maneuvering is already difficult, and liquid oxygen is explosive. A car or a truck hitting the tank would be a major hazard, and it was a small Italian car. No advertisement, but it was the kind commonly used as a second car or to travel in the Dolomite Mountains, where the roads are very narrow. And by the way, Ripe Stars, fun fact, I just came back from a very nice road trip in the Dolomite Mountains in the mountains of Italy. If you ever have the chance to go there, I would highly recommend it. Anyway, so Mike makes some calls. The car is not owned by someone of the warehouse or the nursing staff. No doctors have such a small car. The reception made public announcement asking visitors to move the badly parked car, but to no avail. By the 18th hour, the car is gone. Okay, problem solved. But the day after, the car is there, and yet same calls with same result. So then Mike called the police, but the police cannot tow it because it is a private place. And the towing company won't do it without a police query. By chance that day only lorries came to unload medical materials. So then when it's time to close the warehouse, the car is gone once more. On the 3rd day when the landing dock opens, the car is already there. And now that is a real problem. A 35-ton truck from Germany must come this day. There is no way it can reach the dock without tilting the car and the liquid oxygen tank. It has become a clear and present problem of security. All the warehouse team exchanged ideas on what to do, but all feasible solutions have already been tried. It is when someone from the maintenance team passed on a forklift with a pallet of plaster bags that we got an idea. It struck everybody at the same time. There is no way the Italian car would weigh more than 1 ton of plaster. so Mike goes see the forklift driver while the team searches for a wood pallet. Slowly, with many precautions, the forklift slided the pallet under the car, lifted the hole, and went drop the car off the nearby street. In the first 10 minutes, the police is warned that a car is parked in the middle of the street, blocking the traffic. And then said car is towed away in less than half an hour. The truck had no problem maneuvering afterwards. 2 days later though, rumors ran the hospital it was the car of the director's wife and she worked in a medical building some streets away. While everybody found that Mike made a good move, they wait to see what will follow. It's now a global problem of management. So then Mike is called to the direction. As soon as he passed the door, he started to explain, "Yes, I know it's your wife's car, but..." The director went, "What? No! I called you for an entirely other matter. I warned my wife several times. She had it coming, don't worry." Until the hospital closed 20 years after, the story has been repeated to each new worker and each medical student. Put your car on a tree if you want, but don't park in the landing dock court. Because surely Mike will make it disappear. And the next one is titled, "Who is in the wrong here?" So where I live, real estate developers have started snatching up family homes, bulldozing them and building enormous $2 million houses on the plots of land. The houses also stick out horribly in terms of aesthetics. Think single-level brick homes with a 3-level gigantic white and black box in the middle. My home's been in my family for several generations. We have always been known for having a large, beautiful garden. We invited over kids to help with gardening, we gave away so many veggies, we would hold parties, etc. It's been a neighborhood treasure for years. That is, until developers snatched up the lot next door, bulldozed and erected an enormous house that blocked out the light to most of the garden. Many of us tried to fight it with the city, but everything was denied. It was just heartbreaking. Our neighborhood has been changed forever, and this was a link to my family, and I almost have had to go through a grieving process for it. The new owners moved in and were not welcomed warmly by people in the neighborhood. I avoided them for as long as I could, other than politely waving or nodding. So it was a young couple in their early 20s. We finally came face to face and the woman asked if we could chat. She said that they felt like maybe they had done something wrong when they moved in, or if they are not pulling in their trash bins or something, being too loud, etc., because people have not been very friendly. The guy then says that he is surprised considering it felt like a nice and somewhat affluent neighborhood, and given the price he was expecting friendly neighbors. I asked if they had done any research about the area. They said that they moved from California, so no. I said that maybe that was their mistake. They said they didn't know what I meant, so I asked if they had ever looked in our backyard. They said yes and said they think the garden is cute. I said yes, the garden that now has about half less sunlight than before that house was built as a neighborhood treasure. The guy said, "Well, it's not our fault you built the garden there, is it?" I said, "Well, you guys got what you paid for. $2 million for a house that everyone in the neighborhood hates." I said that I hoped it was worth it and wished them a nice day. When I told another neighbor about the exchange, she told me that she does feel bad for them moving without having any idea what they are getting themselves into. Am I the a-hole for telling them that they got what they paid for? And yeah, Ripe Stars, I would say, for once, at least in this case, the OP might actually be the a-hole. I don't see what is wrong with these people for buying the house. They just bought a house, they don't have to deal with the neighborhood drama that happened previously. Let me know what you think in the comments, and now let's take a look at some of the ideas from the Reddit comments. Comment number 1. So you unloaded your pent-up anger at the developers on the couple who unwittingly bought the house? You are the a-hole. That couple did nothing wrong, they bought a house that was on the market. Now, if they'd been the ones to buy the house and land from the previous owner, bulldoze it down, and then build their $1 million mansion, you might have a leg to stand on. But from what you say in the post, the neighborhood is taking out their frustration and anger on an innocent couple. Comment number 2. You are the a-hole indeed. They just bought a house. Did you research the neighborhood? Is your garden a big thing? So well known it's in the papers? That people could know about it without having talks with the neighbors before moving in, and specific talks. And even if it was, they did not design the house, they just bought it. It is obviously not their fault and you are being angry at them as if it is. So guys, the next one is titled Malicious HOA Compliance. Saving the best for last, so to say. My HOA recently changed the rules limiting the amount of vehicles allowed in my driveway. I collect cars, all of which run drive and are registered and injured, and my household also has 4 licensed drivers. When I moved in, the rule stated only one Class C vehicle allowed per driveway. Well, that was fine by me, since Class C vehicles don't exist. Class C vehicles were not defined in the HOA rules either. I assume whoever wrote that rule assumed since they had a Class C license, standard cars and trucks must be Class C. So obviously I moved in, and after stuffing 2 cars for motorcycles and my camper in my garage, I placed 5 vehicles in my driveway, and the letters then came. I was quickly able to deflate them after asking them for the legal definition of a Class C vehicle, no fines paid. Fast forward about a year and the HOA proposed a rule change, now stating 3 vehicles per driveway maximum. Since 3 is more than 1 and people lack critical thinking skills, it was passed with over 85% support. Fine, 3 vehicles it is. I did some digging and found the streets in my HOA were turned over to the city, an effort to avoid having to foot the maintenance bill, I'm sure, and as such the HOA had no authority to stop people from parking on a public street. So then I moved 2 vehicles to my very narrow street, one in front of my house and one directly across the street in front of my neighbor's house. Now the only vehicles that could safely drive past my home were motorcycles and the one guy with a smart car. It was glorious. My street is a main artery into and out of the neighborhood, lots of U-turns and backtracking for folks to get home or to go to work. They are the ones who did the rest of the work for me. Complaints and calls to the HOA president resulted in another rule change vote. And now my driveway is open to any amount of legally registered vehicles. It fits 9, so I need more cars. And yeah, Ripe Stars, this OP certainly knows how to deal with these crazy stupid HOA rules and to find loopholes. Anyway, the next one is titled, Did I Treat My Mother-in-Law Right? I, 42 male, have been married to my wife, 39 female, for 15 years. We have a wonderful 14-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. My wife's mother has some views that I don't agree with. 2 years ago, for our daughter's 12th birthday, she sent her a book about crash dieting that promised something like 10 pounds of weight loss in 3 days. Our daughter was devastated because the underlying message was clear as day. It was a month until she started eating a whole plate of food for dinner again. Our daughter is a healthy girl, she is highly active, studious and most importantly happy. Her grandmother believes that she is not reaching her full potential, whatever that means, and thinks that she'll be on the front covers of magazines if she can just shed some weight. Since she made these views clear to me, I have made it my mission to block any unsupervised contact, and this includes gifts. About a month ago, with my daughter's upcoming 14th birthday, Grandma texted me asking for our new address. Normally she would ask my wife, but since she did not answer within 10 minutes, she texted me instead. My wife would have given her our real address, but I was able to respond first with a fake one and tell my wife no response was necessary. I could not guarantee that I would be home to intercept any gifts and my daughter would open something addressed to her. It gave her some numbers and a street somewhere that I was not even sure existed. A couple of weeks later, after my daughter's birthday, I realized that it did not in fact exist as her package was returned to her. Both she and my wife were furious and my wife amended the address I gave her before. Grandma insisted it was a completely innocent package. Well, the day it was scheduled for delivery, I decided to work from home. When it arrived, I opened it up and found a baton twirling uniform, which is my daughter's hobby. Sounds innocent enough, right? It was at least 2 sizes too small. So I sat my wife down with the stupid thing in front of us and said it was clearly intentional, which my wife refuses to acknowledge. Now she and her mother are even madder at me for throwing the uniform into the neighbor's garage with the neighbor's permission. Did I handle this correctly? And yeah, Ripe Stars, let us know in the comments what you think about this. However, I gotta say, I 100,000% support OP in this situation. I would say both the grandma and the wife actually are absolutely toxic, and I would not let this stupid mother-in-law go anywhere near my daughter. Let me know in the comments what you think. A comment in the Reddit thread said, not the a-hole, you don't have a mother-in-law problem, you have a wife problem. It's time for you and your wife to have an honest discussion about how she views your daughter's weight. Comment number 2. So first of all, I applaud you for standing up and protecting your daughter. For that you are not the a-hole. While people are quick to say you are as you didn't communicate with your wife, given that she refuses to see an issue with her mom doing this, I disagree with Reddit and you are not the a-hole there as well. Bravo to you for prioritizing your daughter. She obviously needs someone in her corner for sure. That being said, I would make an appointment for couples counseling and talk to the counselor specifically about this issue, how your wife does not have concerns with it. You two need to communicate and get on the same page. Your mother-in-law needs to stop bullying and body shaming your daughter, who sounds like a normal, healthy kid. Mother-in-law can seriously go pound sand. I would go as far as to talk to your daughter. Does she even wanna see mother-in-law? Otherwise, simply go low/no contact. And yeah, Ripe Stars, please don't forget to leave me your opinion in the comments, and either way, I hope you enjoyed today's video and I will see you again tomorrow.